in the process of painting this window frame. Just got this side and the sill to do. Well, first thing what I want to do is, just to help this job, this is a water-based paint. It's a gloss I'm using, which is fairly flexible. I need to put these in a bucket of water. Put these in the water. For the both synthetic brushes, this one is the Purdy 1 inch, and this one is the Hamilton 2 inch. And what tends to happen with the water-based paint, when you're using it, depending on how much you're doing, starts to dry in the stock, and if you don't do this regularly, then over time it gets quite solid in the stock there. To free anything up, just get your comb and just take it through. I'm not just pulling it straight through, because you need to line up the bristles, start to pull them out. So just tease them into position and you can give it a proper comb through. Again, this will just help loosen up anything in the stock. Again, this one. So all synthetic brushes end up looking the same after a while. Okay, now I'll just give them a rinse in some clean water and they're ready to go again. Spin them out. When I was preparing this frame, I did all the filling, all the main filling on the woodwork using 2-pack filler, 1 seal 2-pack filler, and then prepped it all, sanded it all down, got it all nice, neat and clean, primed it, let the primer dry, and then sanded it again, dusted it down, and then I used my polymer sealant, which went all around the edges, anywhere where there was any gaps, along these miters here and the bottom edges of these joints, along here, the sill and this piece of frame. So again, make sure you sand before you use that sealant, because any sanding after that, you may get it clinging to this sealant. Also, you might start to disturb the sealant. So now, like I say, at this stage I've just got this piece and the sill to paint up. Again, using a water-based paint, better to prime or paint the whole thing with a water-based paint. A good flexible one. Don't use an emulsion paint on it, an ordinary matte emulsion, because this stuff is slightly flexible. So again, you want something that will flex with it. If you're using that outside, then again you would do the same. You would prime it first with a good exterior flexible paint. Then if you use oil, you can go over the top. So I'm now ready for painting this. I see what I mean about how the synthetics go. That's not too bad. That's the Hamilton. That's the Purdy. Quite splayed. Oh. Anyway, I'll get this on. Just the sill now. Use that inch just to get in there a little bit. It doesn't want to come together. I'll still be able to get it in there. So this has only had one coat of gloss after it was prepped and sealed. So once it's dry, with some fine sandpaper, worn 180, even finer than that, lightly go over the areas where you've used the polymer sealant. Not too heavy, just give it a slight key. The rest of the woodwork you'll be fine. Just areas where you've used the sealant. Just be careful you don't use any heavy sandpaper or just pushing too much onto it, because you'll start to distort it and it may bring the paint off. But that's okay, that's alright. That gloss will flex with the sealant. Good job. When I referred to painting over this sealant with a matte paint, I should have said acrylic paints, acrylic undercoats, primers, similar makeup. They won't resist the cracking. So test an area and let it dry and see how it performs. If it starts to craze, change the paint that you're using. Use something, an exterior flexible water-based system. Something like Saddling Superdeck would be absolutely perfect over this. A good exterior eggshell or satin. As long as it's flexible and it resists, when it dries, it'll resist cracking out. Like I say, if it does crack out, change the paint and test it again. But really, you shouldn't have any problems. Dulux Trade Quick Dry Opaque is okay on this, and the Dulux Weather Shield, the satin, good flexible paints. Like I say, once you've primed this, sealed this, painted the whole surface, when it's dry, lightly keyed, then you can finish it in whatever paint you're using, whether it's your interior satin or interior gloss. That should be okay.